morning, you guys. It's day number 96 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. 96 days in a row, been doing this ice bath every single day, getting into a vat full of ice. This is the Morozco Forge. It's a company that makes an ice bath, and it literally makes its own ice. It has been pumping out ice, guys, and I just checked the temperature a moment ago. This is the coldest it has been since I started doing it. 31.3 degrees Fahrenheit today. Oh my God, it is so cold. So we're gonna have to get into that here today in just a moment. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I've gotten into cold water right around 32 degrees all year long, and so we'll put our body in there. I actually cranked it down because it wasn't making a lot of ice, and now there's a sheet of ice down there. I was hammering about 2 hours ago trying to get some of that ice off the bottom, making some ice today. So we're going to get into that in a minute. But today's topic is a really interesting one. And it's one that I didn't really think was going to happen when I started doing ice baths. And the question that I have is, does going into ice baths actually make you smarter? And I want to talk about some of the things that I've noticed personally, having done this on a regular basis. I noticed I'm on the Wi-Fi, so give me just 1 second. I'm going to take it off the Wi-Fi. And we're back. So, when it's on the Wi-Fi, sometimes it does fluky, and plus when I go on the walk, I always forget to take it off the Wi-Fi before I come on the air with you guys. All right, let me get into the ice bath with you guys. Set this down. I will talk to you in a minute, so if you have any comments or questions, I will come to you when we're on the walk here in just a minute, but I got an ice bath, 31.3 degrees, that cold. So we're going to see how we go. 5 minutes are on the clock, and here we go. There's a big thick sheet of ice under my feet and my legs. All right, you guys, I think I'm calmed down enough. Some days are easier than others. Other days it takes me a little bit to kind of catch my breath, because that initial getting in takes your breath away. And then you basically use your breath to calm down your racing thoughts, to calm down your heart rate, to get your body under control. And so now I'm in complete control. I'm in 31.3 degrees Fahrenheit. This is literally the coldest it has ever been since I started doing these ice baths. I don't know why it finally decided to go below zero, or below 0 degrees Celsius, but it did today. So I'm grateful, because I like the intensity of the cold. All right. So what I wanted to talk about today is one of the surprising benefits that I've noticed from doing these ice baths. And it was subtle. It wasn't something that I went, oh, wow, look at this benefit. It was, That's interesting. And so I've done this every day, and I just have this sense that I've improved my brain health. Not just mood. Yes, mood has been incredible, but actually improved cognitive behavior, improved cognitive performance. I feel like I've gotten smarter. And so I started digging in to the research on this. And actually there's lots of research, and there was one study I read that found that getting into cold therapy on a regular basis can actually improve cognition. In other words, make you smarter by as much as 30%. Damn, I wish I'd known about this in college. That would have come in handy. But I can see this being used, cold therapy being used as a modality for those people wanting and needing to have higher cognition. I think about the Navy SEALs. They're some of our best trained military operations people. And they do cold therapy. Could it be for the cognitive benefits? Absolutely. And I would think CEOs, I remember Jack Dorsey, who used to run Twitter, talked about doing all these biohacking things and fasting and cold plunges. Did he do it for the cognitive benefits? Probably. So really interesting, huh? Who knew that getting cold is not crazy, not dumb? It actually can make you the opposite of those things and be much smarter. All right, let me go below the water. My neighbors are working on a playground today, so I probably just scared the crap out of them. Did I get your attention? They're making a playground. That looks like fun. Yes, yes. Day number 96 of this challenge, you guys. Whew. I love dunking that head. I cannot tell you. If you're doing cold therapy and you do not put your head below the water, you are missing out on one of the biggest benefits that this will give you. So I really enjoy it a lot. But what do you think about that idea that simply submerging your body into cold water can actually make you smarter? It's kind of an interesting concept. And it kind of makes sense, too, because of what the ice baths are doing. Here, let me adjust my shoes that I'm wearing, because yesterday I literally walked on the ankle the whole time. There we go. We're going to fix it so I don't do that today. It actually can make you smarter, and it kind of makes sense in a lot of ways. Think about all the things that the ice bath is doing. It's lowering your blood pressure. That's going to help you. It's lowering blood sugar, which ostensibly should be lowering insulin levels. If insulin is high, it can kind of mess with you cognitively. This is why type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, those are people that have very high levels of insulin. And so becoming more insulin sensitive is one of the benefits that comes from being in an ice bath. So that makes sense, how it would benefit you cognitively. The fact that you make your sleep get better and you're able to sleep more deeply, that totally makes sense as to why this would make you smarter. The fact that your mood can stay pretty calm means that you can process information a lot better, because when you're caught up in your emotions, you don't process information very well. So if you're able to chill, literally, your brain out and get it calm, then it makes sense that would make you smarter, because you make better decisions in a calmer brain. So it totally makes sense when you think it through. And see, I'm demonstrating how ice baths make you smarter by being smarter, by sharing what I think is the process by which it's happening. And it's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. But hello, you guys. Thanks so much for joining in. Let's scroll back to the top and we will jibber jabber with who's here. As always, if you've got questions about cold therapy or anything about my journey, 96 days I've been at this, you guys. Been some really, really interesting things to come out. Impressiana's here. Jose, CC Guide Dogs, Wendy, Carrie, Keto 36849, Dawn Marie, KMR, Deborah, Carnivore Angel Healing says, boo. Are you trying to scare me? Sally's trying to scare me today. LJM is here. Ancestral Keto Coach, Nutrient Dense Teas. 36849 says, hey. Hey. Linda's here. Reggie. I'm cold for you, says Sally. Actually, it's not so bad. Although today was the coldest it's been, 31.4 degrees Fahrenheit. I've never gotten in there. I think the previous coldest I was 31.9. But today, I could feel that it was that degree cooler almost than it normally is. So that was nice, though. I like the challenge. Eileen is here. Karen, Kathy David, Ancestral Keto Coach says, good for you. Zinc Supremacist is here. R. Leonard, Carol Ann, Esteloner, J. Monty. Emily is here. She says, badass damn. Well, we just do our part to show ice baths are not as scary as people think they are. But if that makes me a badass, cool, I will take it. Somebody's got a drone. I thought I heard a drone flying while I was in the ice bath. It has that very distinctive buzz sound. Somebody's having fun with their drone. Never a dull moment in South Carolina. All right. Love your yippies. Yes. Woo! Yeah! Wah! Yeah! Gotta do that. It makes it a lot more fun. Plus, I know I just did something very hard, so how can you not hoop and holler and celebrate that, right? So cute hearing you cheer. Karen says, brr, LOL. Yeah. There was a lot of ice in there today. I was worried about the ice melting. The ice was back. And it laid the hammer time on me. That ice baby did. So Sally says, whoa. Yeah. Look, I feel like people watch me do that and they see it more as a novelty thing. Oh, wow, look what Jimmy was able to do. And what I'm trying to explain with what I've done with all these ice baths is what I'm doing, anybody could do. Literally anybody could do. 3 years ago, I couldn't even do warm showers. They were so cold. And so work your way up. I hope by watching these videos, you realize that it's a goal. What I'm showing you, this is a goal. You could get to this point. In fact, I just interviewed a guy today, an elite Ironman athlete, triathlete back in the day. And he still does a lot of biohacking, including cold plunges. Brad Kearns was his name. And I was on the call with him doing the interview. And I mentioned what I was doing in 2022. And he went, Jimmy, 5 minutes in an ice bath, 32 degrees every day? Like even he was impressed. And I was like, oh, is that a big deal? And he's like, it's a big deal. So I realize what I'm doing, like I said, it's very novelty to people. It's not something that you think you could get to. But all I did was what I'm asking you to do. Start with warm water and start working your way. And look, this won't be for everybody. There will be certain people with certain conditions. I've got my friend Kira that gets on here a lot, and she talks about the condition that she deals with where her exposure to cold actually makes her hands and arms kind of really break out. She's got a mess with it when she exposes herself to cold. That's somebody that does not need to do this. My friend Kelly, who came to visit me, she also got in there, and she got out, and she was in pain for about 3 days. There was some kind of a detoxification that took place for her. So that's not to say that nobody should do it, but your mileage may vary. You may not have the results that Jimmy Moore gets, which is phenomenal, feeling great, getting all the cognitive benefits, getting all the sleep benefits, all the things and the reasons why I'm doing it. You may not have that response, but you can't just throw it out and say, well, that looks too hard and some people have problems, so I won't do it. You can say the same thing about keto. Say the same thing about carnivore. You can say the same thing about fasting. And yet so many of you guys do all of those things, one or all of those things. Why? Why do you do that? Why? Because you've seen it for yourself, how it's changed your life. And that's all I'm asking you to do with ice baths. I don't care if you decide to do it or not. I don't care if you decide to try this at all. My job as a health guy trying to promote and educate is to show you things that can help you. What you choose to do with that information is of no consequence to me. Obviously, I'd love to hear your stories about how you tried this and you've seen great results. And I have. I've heard many great stories. I just heard from Nutrient Dense Teas actually just reached out to me and told me how these videos here, it's 5:30 in the morning right now in Japan where she lives. And she was telling me, hey, you've inspired me to ground. You've inspired me to do cold therapy, and I'm doing it. And I sit here and watch your videos and I see all the things you share. It inspires me to do it. That's cool to me. So don't give up. Try it. Be inspired. And then watch your life change. Melissa's here. Emily says, right? Holly's here. Nutrient Dense Teas. Speaking of, have you noticed a change in your skin? I've noticed mine isn't as dry with cold showers versus warm. Yes. In fact, I've had people comment on these videos. They can see how my skin has improved. I'm a dude. I'm a 50-year-old dude. So it's like I don't notice those things quite like a 25 or 30-year-old woman would. But yeah, I feel the skin is tighter. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely great benefits there. And I'm trying to notice all the things. I suppose some of those kinds of things, because I'm not an aesthetic person. I don't care about all that. I'm more of a health guy. But if I get better skin from this, I'm all right with that. But that's cool that you've noticed it's not as dry. It's definitely interesting why we have dry skin and the reasoning why a cold shower would be helping you. So listen to this, Nutrient Dense Teas. So when you do a warm, hot shower to bathe, you open up all of your pores, okay? So when you've got all your pores open, you're wide open. So a lot of people go right from a hot shower and just towel off. And then they start developing dry skin. I know a lot of women, especially, put on lots of lotion and all this on their body. But I wonder if the lotion becomes obsolete if you simply closed off those pores by running the cold water at the end of your shower, which is what you're doing. That does not surprise me why you don't have as bad of dry skin. Dry skin happens because you leave your pores wide open after the hot shower. Close them bad boys up. Always end on cold. And it's something that I've even thought about when I get into my hot tub. After getting out of the hot tub, going in the Morosco Forge for like a minute, just so it closes up all those pores and maintains the moisture of the skin. That makes sense, right? So that doesn't surprise me that you've seen those benefits. Holly says, I have the same outside light at my house. Cool. Yeah, I love my house. My property has all kind of little toys. Santo is here. Emily says, amen, Jimmy. The major hormonal issue is insulin. Yes. Yes. Functional health and wellness is here. Dawn Marie, type 3 diabetes. Never heard of that. Oh, yeah. So it's become a little more popular in recent years. But I interviewed a guy way back in 2007 or 8. I forget exactly when it was. It was a million years ago. Named Dr. Larry McCleary. He's a neurosurgeon. And he said, Jimmy, in research circles, they're now referring to Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes of the brain. And I remember when he told me that at the time, I made a big deal about it in the headline and everything. And it was kind of laughed at and mocked. Diabetes of the brain, what? But now research has followed up and has actually confirmed that yes, those with Alzheimer's and dementia and other neurodegenerative types of diseases, it's simply insulin resistance of the brain, diabetes of the brain. So what do we do with diabetes type 2? What do we do even with diabetes type 1, which is a little different one than type 2, because you have to take insulin because you're insulin dependent. But type 2 is not insulin dependent, and neither is type 3 with the brain. You can eat a low-carb diet. You can eat healthy fats. You can use MCT oil and krill oil to help nourish the brain. Even some of the exogenous ketones and ketone esters that can help people with those conditions. So yeah, type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. I'm glad you learned something today. Ruth is here. Bulletproof Coconut. Arlene. Emily says, Salty Jimmy is so lit. He's a unicorn. Bulletproof says, go Jimmy with lots of clouds. Yes, it's very cloudy here today. We had lots of rain yesterday, as you guys know. It was so funny. I was trying to engage with you guys yesterday who were here, and it was so cloudy. And so I'm out here with an umbrella, and I couldn't get anybody to talk to me. I was sitting there like, please, somebody ask a question. Somebody talk to me. I feel like I did a 30-minute soliloquy. But some days are like that. Shaman is here. Carolyn is here. I love that you challenge yourself, says Sally. Thank you. I think we should all challenge ourselves. Because how do you know what you're capable of if you never push yourself to the level of being challenged? And it's something I will always do. It's something that's been the hallmark of my work, really. I know the popular meme out there about Jimmy Moore is that I'm lazy, that all this stuff. Keep thinking that. That's all I have to say. Keep thinking that. I know who I am, and I probably work harder than just about anybody else in this space working on myself, challenging myself. Now, there's some really great people that are amazing with the weightlifting, and I am inspired by them, and amazing with other ways. But I try to do as many things that are within my capability as I can to push myself. And we should all strive to do that. All of us can do that. Robert's here. Marcus is here. Carnivore Runner, Jerry, Dr. Rimka, Andy. Nutrition Mindset Movement's here. Dr. Rimka says, maybe boo, but I like my oil rub. Yes, you can. Look, I feel like you ladies, you do what it takes to make you feel beautiful. So if you like your oil rub, you like your moisturizers, you like all your body lotions, cool. My ex-wife loved all the Bath and Body Works stuff, and she really loved the body lotion. I'd be buying like buckets of that stuff for her. And so I get it. But those people who complain about the dry skin, it's like, all right, well, hot water kind of opens the pores, so it makes sense that cold water would close them back up, so you don't have that issue. I think there's a happy medium between those two. Dr. Perlmutter also talks about the type 3 diabetes. Yes, he does. Patricia's here. Preach gospel. Tina. Amyloids are nasty. Thanks for teaching us. Julia's here. Ashley is here. Dr. Rimka says, really? Who says you're lazy? Oh, sweetie. You know I get all kind of nasty grams online. I don't know why people hate me so much. I have literally never done anything to make people hate me. But there are a segment of people that hate me. I realize a lot love me too, and you guys are a part of that tribe. Thank you. But I'm still out here doing my thing after all these years. And I'm not going anywhere. I got decades more to do, so not going a damn place. Sorry, haters. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm here to stay. Here to stay. Dr. Rimka says, cold showers, they suck ass. Sorry, not sorry. Well, yes. They can be tough. I actually prefer the dunking of being in an ice bath. Because cold shower, you're getting that constantly moving water on your body, that cold water. And so there's something about the movement of the water that makes it harder. Even though it's a lot warmer temperature on a cold shower spigot than an ice bath, which would be temperature controlled like the one I use. But there's something about that movement of the water that makes the jolt even worse. And so I prefer the ice baths. Do I sometimes, when I'm in the shower, turn it down to the cold? You bet I do. Sometimes my hot water heater automatically turns it down to the cold for me, whether I wanted it to or not. So, yeah. But I agree with you. They can suck. Of course, like everything else, I just say breathe through it. But you know this stuff. Dr. Rimka's playing shy because she has done ice baths. I've watched you be all badass like that. Yes, I prefer the ice baths because you get not just the lack of movement of the water, you get the submersion benefits. There's mounting evidence that part of the allure and benefits that come from ice baths is not just the temperature of the bath, but the water pressure. And I remember somebody pushed me on this when I first started talking about ice baths. They're like, oh, well, that's just torture because only benefits you're getting from that is the submersion in the water, and really the temperature has no say in it. And I'm like, no, both. You get benefits from both. Yes, the submersion factor, but also the temperature factor. It's all a part of it. Dawn Marie says, I started my cool showers today and I felt good. Awesome. That is beautiful. Look, that's the goal. Try it, breathe through it. Yes, it sucks in the moment, Dr. Rimka, but when you're done, especially if you submerge your head under that water and you get out, there's kind of this buzz. I've literally never been high in my life, but I assume some of that feeling that I have getting out of cold water, especially dunking my head, some of that feeling has to be what it's like to be a little bit high. I wouldn't know. I've never been high, but I'm assuming. Oh, thank you guys for all the love. So many people here sharing the love. Thank you for that. Yvonne is here. Dr. Rimka, I can plunge, boo, but I'm done torching myself in the shower. Yeah, my theory is it's the moving water, Stephanie, why that's a little harder. Plunges, you get in and you're in. It's like there's no moving around of the water. And about a month and a half ago, I did this experiment because I think it was Andrew Huberman mentioned that all these burly men and people getting in the ice bath, and they're so still and solemn. He's like, there's actually a layer of protection, of warmth that comes over your body when you sit still in cold. And so that one day, you might remember where I posted the video, I made a reel out of it where I was kicking my feet and shaking around and all this, and it was much more intense in that cold water. And so being in a cold shower with that water coming down, moving on you, I think it intensifies what that feels like. And that's why the cold showers are kind of hard for people. So keep that in mind, you guys who are getting into this. Maybe you don't want to have a cold shower. Maybe you want to fill up a bathtub full of cold water and then put your body in it, because then it more simulates what you're trying to get to with the ice baths. It's an idea. And then if that's not intense enough, you can always add ice to it, bags of ice to it. So that's my theory anyway as to why the showers can be a bit of a bitch. Comcast is here. After 100 plus cold showers, I'm done, says Dr. Rimka. You made it over 100 showers. What's the worst part, Stephanie? I got to hear this from you, because you're not chump change. You are a functional medicine doctor. You know what you're doing. What is it? Is it just because the brain can't wrap its head around the like when you get in there? Is breathing not helping? I know a lot of people, not you probably, but a lot of people, they hold their breath. And I mentioned this yesterday, that when you're doing cold therapy, the last thing you want to do is hold your breath, because it makes that cold that much more intense. So I don't know what would be the issue other than you just hate cold. And look, I mean, you did 100 plus of them. You stuck around a lot longer than most people would. Dawn Marie, I have been big my whole life. Learned very early on not to care about what other people think. No, you preach it to the choir here. So, Bonnie is here. You should see my pathetic ice bath full of pollen. Lord help me, I need a car wash for the Morosco. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have kept that lid on top of the Morosco Forge until just before I get into do the ice bath with you guys. Because, yeah, if I left that thing open for a period of time, there would be this green film all along the top. That's called living in the South in the spring. You get green shit everywhere. So thankfully I don't have trouble breathing in it like a lot of people do, but it does make the ice bath a victim of potential dirtiness. I literally have to take my car to a car wash every day to get that green stuff off my car. So, and an hour after I bring it home, it's covered again. So if you ever move to the South, that's what you have to look forward to. Lena Doran is here. I'm one of those people that never feels good from a cold shower, ever. However, it feels good after a cold plunge. See, look, you're proving a point that I've made to some people, Stephanie. And that's, there is no one size fits all with this. It's just like people that go on keto. Not everybody's keto journey is going to look the same. Or people that fast. Not everybody's going to fast exactly the same. So it makes sense to me that there would be different ways that you could do cold therapy and get benefit out of it. So kudos to you. What's funny and ironic about yours is I think cold plunges are indeed the easier way, but that's the one that people are most hesitant about. They think, oh, I'll do cold shower, and then they have the freak out of the cold shower and, oh my gosh, I could never do plunge. Whereas the plunge probably could be more suited to them. So guys, learn the lesson of what Dr. Rimka is sharing here today. If you've been trying to cold showers and it sucks, maybe fill up your tub full of cold water, throw a little bit of ice in there, and see how you do. The worst that can happen is, okay, that sucks too. Look, they're all going to suck when you first start, but you do have to breathe through them. So hopefully some of my encouragement has helped you along this journey. Stephanie says, I'm a lover, not a hater. Yes, you are. You came to my birthday party. She decided the day before I had my 50th birthday party, I'm going to come see you. I was like, really? Cool. I'll never forget that, my dear. Sally says, I end all of my showers cold. A lot of people do that. It's a nice way to rinse off. Some people use the rinse off in the cold shower before they go to sleep, like an hour or so before they go to sleep. That helps as well. Catherine is here. Free Wildings. Jack Meck is here. I've got balls of steel. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's why you and I get along so well. Cynthia Thurlow is here. I got an all-star lineup watching my ice bath video here today. Thank you guys for joining in. Laura's here. Dee Dee Shank is here. Dr. Rimka says it's all mental. It is. When you get into the ice bath or a cold shower or whatever you're doing, that freak out is just your brain. You are physically okay. A lot of people feel like, oh no, I'm putting my body at harm because my brain is going crazy. No, your brain is going crazy because this is something that's very hard. And you have to push yourself to do hard things. But we also have a very cool mechanism that lets hard things be easier. And that's your breath. You've got to use your breath to calm your brain down. You guys see that when I initially get into the ice bath. You watch me every single day do this. That initial getting in, and today it was 31.3 degrees Fahrenheit in there. That initial, I'm going, I'm just trying to catch my breath. And as soon as I can get in there and get all the way down, vagus nerve under the water, then I try to focus very intently on slowing the breath and then deep breathing. And within 15 seconds, I'm into my breathing. And then I breathe for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then I'm able to calmly talk to you guys. It's all the breath. The breath calms the brain. And then once the brain is calm, the body's like, we're going to hang out here a while. Cool. But if you only react to what happens when you first get in, you're going to want to get out and you miss the best part. It's kind of like the people who try to intermittent fast and their brain gets the best of them. Oh, this is starving myself, and oh, I'm actually hungry. You're not actually hungry. You're not actually hungry. You just needed to prime yourself to get into the fasting by eating better before you started. And then once you get in it, just commit to it and do all the things, hydration and salt and all the things that make fasting work. And the same thing applies to ice baths. You do the things that make it work for you. Keto Con is here. Denise is here. Paige is here. All right, looks like Dr. Rimka wants to. Let's bring Dr. Rimka on because I think she has some thoughts. I will never turn down the opportunity to talk to my lovely friend.
What's
Hello, darling.
up?
Sorry I was delayed. How are you?
No, you're all good. I just wanted to say, Jimmy, you're so great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're working so hard, busting your ass. So I just want to encourage you. I'm super proud of you. You don't need me to be proud of you, but, you know, and that you do this. It's so interesting to me that, like, you do the cold and, like, now you're doing the walk and talk and all the stuff, right? Like, that level of discipline every day, that alone most people can't do, and you know that. And they know it. That's why they like to say, talk smack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, it does take a lot to do that, right? And so I just want to say this about the cold for the people who are watching. I would say that, so you're a big white guy.
Yes.
Okay? You're a man. I am not. You super white. I'm some white, not all the white. You got more body fat than me. You got more muscle than me. Okay? So my people like me, we hate the fucking cold, like real bad.
Yes.
Okay, real bad. So I don't encourage people like me to actually put ice in the tub. You know where I started?
Yeah.
80 degrees.
Okay.
and mama was screaming.
Yes.
That was horrible.
Yes.
80 was cold. So a lot of people go, let's just do that. And you might go, oh, like I did the, I was doing all that in 80.
Yes.
Okay. And it took only so many dunks to be in 35, right? But I did baby step. And I do think
Yes.
sometimes people look at you guys in a Morosco forge and breaking up ice and are like, I don't know how the fuck they're doing that. I did the same thing. And it was Jack Cruz many years ago who was like, you
Yes.
can do it, right? He was the one, and he slowed me down because I will say I was really sick with mold. So if somebody's really acutely ill with mold or acute with Lyme or something, the cold can help you heal, but you are going to do it differently. So he backed me off. He was like 75 is going to be freezing to her. He goes, 75 for Stephanie is like 35 for some of you white guys right now. So that's what I did. Like 72 degrees 5 years ago was my cold thermogenesis, right? Now I'm healthier, and I went from 80 to 70 in my bathtub to 70 to 60. Like, and I was like, wow, that's not, and it was shockingly easy. I was like, oh, that's not so bad. It was like fast.
Number
So
one.
just as encouragement for people, like,
Yes.
don't go grabbing ice at first. And so if
Right.
70 is like nothing to you, you're like, oh, that was nothing.
Right.
Right. So for a lot of you really Irish, Scottish, white, Viking, Swedish, white people, that'll be like nothing to you. I mean, I'm just saying for the
Irish.
Black, Indians, the Kenyan, us people, we're like, bitch, it's freezing. You should go to a house in Detroit. Black people.
Yeah.
In the summer, they're wearing winter hats in their houses. I'm just saying. And in the winter, the thermostat is set at 80 and they got, bubble clothes on. They're like, it's cold. They're tropical. So even though you can still get used to it, now I love it. So I'm just going to say, if you hate a cold shower, I hate them too. Never felt good, never liked them, never felt euphoric, never got a mood boost. I did them continually. So if you're a woman, it seems like men seem to like those more.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, That's just my 2 cents. So I see a lot of women being afraid, and I'm begging them, like,
Yeah.
please, fuck a cold shower. It's horrible. You don't need to do it. I hate them, Jimmy. I hate them. I'm not doing them ever again. I'm too old for that shit. I need people to rub me, not beat pellets upon my back of cold. I don't need to be pelted.
Yeah.
It's bringing up trauma from my slave people, okay?
I hear it. I hear the trauma. I feel it.
I'm telling you, I don't like it. Adrienne Zek doesn't like it either. She's like, I hate them too.
Yeah. Danny said a 78-degree pool is like death for me. So,
That's what I'm saying, girl. Is it Danny, that one, a Danny girl? I'm assuming it's her, but I agree. But see, now I can do it. Now it's different. I got over some of the mental, and my body has adjusted, and I am warmer. I used to keep my house at 74, and I've been working on this for years. It's at 66 and stuff. I'm 65. My son is like, because he was like, Mom, I'm so hot, I'm dying. I'm like, really? What's wrong with you? And no, it's not hot in here. He's like,
yeah.
I'm sweating. I was like, oh. So I worked on it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to deal with your thyroid health and the blah, blah, blah. So that's my encouragement. People who, please, if you're looking at Jimmy in the 5 minutes and the 32, maybe you can't do that, but I promise you can start in your bathtub.
Advanced. And I try to tell that every time I'm on here, Stephanie, that don't try to be in this level. I'm in year 3 of doing this. So
Yeah,
I've got
right.
at this point. I started with warm showers and weeping at 80 degrees. So,
Right, just turning the dial. You're like, oh, it's horrible, it's horrible.
hey, can I ask you a question about one of the phenomenons that's happened to me? I'm interested in what you think.
Yeah,
So getting this whole anticipatory thermogenesis where my body preemptively
yeah.
warms. You've seen some of my posts about it. I've gotten as high as 100.6 degrees Fahrenheit,
Oh, that's awesome.
but I get this almost like clockwork every single day right before the ice bath.
Oh, well, Greenland does that. So how Greenland is a hunger molecule, hunger hormone. So our body gets used to rhythms and patterns. It knows that. It does it with ghrelin. So like, it's why you're all, if you fast and stuff and you get hungry at the exact same time, even if you're actually not hungry, because your body's, if you eat at 8 a.m. and then 3 p.m. and it has a signal, right? If you feed your dogs at the same time, they'll let you know, honey, it's time to eat. Like, because their ghrelin is getting, and it's making them hungry. So that's why I'm a fan of like moving meals around so you don't do that. So when I saw that, I thought, well, one, that's awesome. Your body's making some interesting compensatory mechanism to prepare and increase its, you know,
Brown fat.
heating and, you know, metabolic. It's preparing you. Like, I know what's coming. Like, I know the meal should be coming, so I'm going to prepare this body for it. I know the cold is coming. I would imagine, you know, it's interesting, we don't have the data on it, but people who, like northern tribes, Inuits and the Siberian, they probably had very similar things happening with them. You know what I mean? Like a very different kind of physiology than what we experience living in this controlled environment. It's really interesting. Are you noticing, well, one, I mean, fevers are potent, right? So fever is one of the most potent healing devices ever. So it's a protective mechanism, right?
Eyes, I feel it when I get these, and at first it was just the anticipation. Now it's like intermittent throughout the day. Suddenly my eyes will start burning. I'll check my temperature, 99.9 degrees Fahrenheit, at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going, is my body just trying to predict that I'm going to go in the cold at any given moment now? So,
yeah, well, either that and or it's getting, you know, increasing autophagy and apoptosis, and it's cleaning things out. You know what I mean? It's killing cancer cells. It's saying, okay, and it's created that ability, like, we're stronger, let's go get it. You know?
My theory has been that brown fat is really at full capacity. How can it not be?
Yeah. I mean, and it's, you know, shit ton of, you know, mitochondria and ATP burning, like, and that would make more heat.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the whole point of like exercise, is you get hot for that, you know, so it's getting you hot, like you're exercising, but you're not. Right. So it's kind of like you're getting the sauna effect.
Yes. In fact, I remember interviewing a doctor who's a biohacking doctor, and he said the same thing. You know, when you get in a sauna, you get in an ice bath. It's the same kind of thing.
You're trying to increase your internal core temperature in a sauna. That's the point. If you aren't raising your internal temperature, you're really not doing it. And a lot of people aren't. You're getting an internal core body temperature standing in your living room.
Right.
That's extraordinary.
So I have a sauna on the inside of my body now.
Yeah. Do you have a sauna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you go in when you get the fever then? Do you try you should maybe try to do that. Like, be like, okay, I'm already hot. Let me go get real hot.
I have not yet, but that's a good idea.
Yeah. Are you taking binders?
Not consistently. I do have Bind, which is the activated charcoal brand.
Yeah, the systemic formulas. Okay, that's a good start, Jimmy. I would highly suggest you take some other deep cellular detox binders, because you're probably purging a shit show of stuff. And if you don't grab it, they're just going to circulate and auto intoxicate something else. And like that twinging and stuff you have, it's probably heavy metals and detox and things coming out, which is good. So there's some different things. If you want to message me I'm sure you have a shit show of resources, you know what I mean? Literally on a show of resources, but I would get some different binders, you know, systemic, Pampa. You got a ton of resources that you use, but I would suggest you do that. Yeah. I always do binders when I'm in my sauna every day, you know, like, so you're doing it internally. I would, there's no way you're not liberating more. I mean, the fat cells have all the toxins, right? So like, there's no way more heavy metals and plastics and crap aren't coming out of you with that, killing things. I would take some more binders. That's just the mama doctor in me is a little worried.
I'll take your mommying any day. And
don't keep the fever down. I'm like saying, get your ass hotter. I mean, you know how I feel about that, but have the stuff in there to, and I saw that if your sleep is going, I wonder if there's something to do with core body temperature and sleep. Oh my God, look at it. I'm so jealous. I should have made better choices in my life. If I'd gone into plastic surgery, I could have afforded that. You know, I don't think I could have lived with myself, but
no.
Jimmy, I'm going to let you go. You are incredible. I want to get back to my charting and my stuff, but I take a break. I just, when I'm doing patient charts, it's not the most thrilling thing in the world. And so I do appreciate you giving me a break from my mental
Yes.
stuff, and so impressed. I let the viewer, I messaged Jimmy when I saw he was doing this. I was nervous. I was like, Jimmy, I don't know about this every day 5-minute situation. I don't know if you should be doing this. This is, please listen to your body. I don't want you to be, like, again, the mommy in me is like, oh, pumpkin.
And I appreciated that very much.
Yeah. And you're smart enough to know if something were to happen, you would stop or pause or whatever. Like, I just don't want the ego driving. You know what I mean?
Right. And I have no egos. At least I try not to anyway.
Well, it's okay to have an ego.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, but thank you. You made my day today. I didn't
Well,
realize.
good. You make my day. A lot of days I like to pop on here, and it's always fun to catch you. But anybody watching, please, I hope you continue to be inspired by Jimmy doing this, and know you can start really slowly, like somebody like me, and it can go very quickly to it actually feels good. Yeah. From screaming to it's awful to like, wait, I actually like it, like looking forward to it. Yes. It really is. Once you get over the mental, the first few times of, was it hard for you in the beginning? Were you like, oh my God? Okay. Because I was really like, I almost cried. I mean, it was like.
Yes. Well, and that response is a bit of like the emotional trauma release.
Total trauma. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I've had friends here and I've watched them do it too. And they were stunned. And I was like, girl, what was that? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, but that's good. Get it out. Move it. Right. And so just imagine just that moves some, you don't need to know what it was, but that all that stored energy, that pent up emotion is hurting you. It's causing pain and destruction. If you, that energy that, so that's what got me back into it, was the trauma release. I'm like, wait, what? I can use cold with my patients to clear out their vagus nervous system. Wait, what?
Yes.
Total game changer, because people get real sick of blah, 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 blah. When I was 5, my mommy did this and they got a divorce and blah. I mean, you got your bullshit. We all got our bullshit stories, but people get tired of talking about that shit. I'm kind of like, I don't even care. Go in the water, watch.
Right.
And they're like, cry, breathe it, do the things, right? Have you done that have they worked with you? Have you been doing it for trauma at all?
Not specifically working with a practitioner, but it has helped me with the processing, because this is one of the things that I did when I first started doing the cold, was I was dealing with some of the realizations about my own childhood trauma. So this has been a journey, not just with ice baths, but also working on my mental health to a good place. And since going in the really intense 32-degree, it's gone exponentially deeper and releasing some of those things. And I think some of the ways my body has responded is that trauma releasing. Yeah,
it has to. It has no choice, and it's the the trauma release exposure, the tremor exercises, the shaking. There's that response is physiologically what we restrict, constrict, and the ice forces it, and that shock cold. That's why I'm like, I get frustrated. I can't get mine as cold as I need. I'm like, this isn't that cold. I'm like, it's 45. I'm like, it's not that cold.
That's the other thing. I lost my shiver response 2 months ago. I have not shivered at all in 2 months. And I get in about as cold as you can possibly get it. Today was 31.3 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's interesting.
I don't shiver anymore. In fact, right now, I'm like sweating a little bit. And it's like, it's an amazing thing, because the whole idea of stay in till you shiver, I would stay until I'm numb, because
you can't. Your after drop might be too dangerous. Yeah, the after drop on you might be too much. Do you shake after on purpose ever? Do you ever do the shaking on purpose?
You mean like get on a vibration?
No, you don't have to do. I mean, you could. I'm just talking like you could just literally do the tremor exercises, tremor release. Are you familiar with Trey?
No.
Oh, honey, you need to go interview somebody for your podcast. Go look up Trey. Get the author, Dr. Bertinelli, I think, whatever. Oh my God. Okay. Go to that website. get that book, watch that stuff. But it's trauma release exercises. So it's like a series of exercises that involve the tremor, like like what animals do. And so they use it on people. So it's fucking awesome. So if you started even just literally just shaking, maybe just make yourself shake when you get up. But if you look some of this stuff up and interview this guy, you might, I think it would be really interesting for you to put this in on your journey or whatever, but just something to look at for your viewers. I would highly encourage you to get them on your podcast.
Well, you know, I love interviewing anybody and
I
everybody.
know.
I will.
If you can get the guy himself, that's amazing. I've been trying to interview a couple. I'm not trained in it. I'm not certified in it, but I had a patient who's a psychologist and she was doing it. And so she was kind of touched, well, I'm not certified yet. So I'm probably going to get myself certified in it actually, because I think it's that impressive. But you could find it. I'm sure you could find some clinicians. I've been trying to find some in Atlanta to talk to, but therapists are not real like interview savvy for the most part. They're very nervous.
Jimmy has his ways of drawing out good info from even bad people.
Well, they're like afraid to do it. They like kind of want me to have an outline ahead of time. I'm like, oh, pumpkin, I'm not doing all that. I ain't got no time for that. I'm like, just going to pop on the Zoom and we're going to hit it.
I'm like, if you know your shit, I will pull out the best shit. I
Exactly.
promise.
I'm like, we don't need this isn't a presentation at, a forum. This is just, hey, let's hit it, right? Yeah. So look it up, Trey, TRE. I'll put it in the message in case you forget.
Yes.
I think you should start shaking after. Yeah. Yeah.
Whole lot of shaking going.
Shake that ass, baby. Shake it. Yeah. All right. I really need to stop pretending I shouldn't be working. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Rimka.
Bye.
See ya. And guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you watch this on the replay, go over to
how to go.
YouTube. That's where we put it up over there. You can also watch it on Instagram, Facebook, all the places. Go check it out. Living Low Carb Man over on Instagram. If you want to watch live, see, sometimes I get surprise guests. Today, I got a surprise guest. So thank you, Dr. Rimka, for coming on today. And yeah, join me 5 p.m. Eastern time every single day. I get on here and I dunk my body literally into a whole bunch of ice every single day on purpose. Yes, on purpose to make myself cold. 32 degrees, although today 30.4 degrees Fahrenheit. That was super cold today for 5 minutes a day. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to pop off of here for now. This was great. I loved every minute of having Dr. Rimka on here. She and I have become really good friends. So I'm grateful for her and I'm grateful for you. Keep coming back. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.